All right, so this is coffee filter flower wreath. So excited about doing this class with you guys. So you're like up there really high today. But this is going to be perfect when I move the camera down so you can see my workspace, because nobody wants to spend an hour or so looking at this face. So check in as you're joining in, and I'm really excited. I am going to try and connect with my computer so I don't have to stand up and squint to see comments. So join in, say hi to each other, have some fun. I'll be with you in just a minute. Internet issues in this building. It could be a fun day. All right. Evidently we're all good. Okay. Now I just have to find this live feed on the computer. I hope everybody's able to enjoy the gorgeous weather. At least here in Pennsylvania, it's a little overcast, but it's cool. Autumn is here. It's my favorite season. I love fall colors. I love the fall. Oh, Jody Kessler's here. Hi, Shania. I miss you too. Shania is one of my girls from out in Nebraska. And yeah, we won't go into all of the recent history. I love you, girl. All right, I'm going to wait a couple more minutes before we get actually started. But people, these flowers that I'm going to be making today, they are amazing and stinking easy, and they're coffee filters. Coffee filters. Man, this is so much fun. I hope you guys enjoy this as much as I do. I'm sorry if I'm getting all artsy geeky on it, but oh, I absolutely love it. There we are. Okay, now I can like just lean over here and not have to look like I'm crazy. Plus, when I'm working up close, I have to take my glasses off. So, sorry people. I can't see my camera clear up there. Okay, I can't wait any longer. I know I said it's going to be a couple minutes, but I'm too excited. Let's get this going. So, supplies that you need. Something cold to drink, like LaCroix Pamplemousse. You know, I complained for so long because I couldn't find LaCroix grapefruit. And then, yeah, one day I decided to see what pamplemousse means and got out my phone, and it's grapefruit. Why don't they just put grapefruit on it? It's like they're a French company or something. Whatever. Anyway, you got to have something cold to drink to craft. All right. So you're going to need crafty paints in whatever colors you like. I was shopping at Michael's and went down the floral section, and the colors for fall are some of my favorite colors ever, like from back in the 80s. Colors that I used to have colors that I had in my wedding in 1981. I loved them then. I love them now. Dusty rose, dusty blue. They're big again. And all of those washed out colors, and Lamb's ear. Look at that. Ugh. So anyway, those are the colors that I chose to paint my coffee filters. So anyway, back to the supplies you need. Coffee filters. You probably need 30, maybe 40 coffee filters for this. I don't know. I lose track. I'm not the measuring out kind of person. You can always make more, because I think this package that has 200 filters in it was $1.30, something like that. So you need either chenille wires, which these are awesome because they're like stick colors. Or you can use a floral wire if you would like. You need wire cutters or scissors. I like to use these little kid scissors because when I kill them cutting wire, I don't really care because they're fairly inexpensive. You're going to need a wire form, or you could also use a grapevine for this. Masking tape. What else? I don't know what to call these. Doodads, fall stuff. Because you're going to want to add some things on, like I wanted these little berries and the grass stuff. These I got at Walmart. This was $1.34. I won't use this, but I'll use the other stuff on something else. So, and some kind of greenery. If you're not into the grayed out colors like I am, then get the greeneries that you like. You know, you could even do this to make it look like poinsettias or white flowers with holly in it. That would be so pretty for a Christmas wreath. So, and as always, some kind of a paintbrush, a glue gun and glue sticks. And if you have tender fingers, here's an amazing thing, and I got these at Dollar Tree in the Crafter Square section. Dollar Tree has really stepped it up. They're a little small to fit on your thumb, but I find if I do these 3 fingers, I don't burn my fingers. I probably won't be using them today because I have a cool melt glue gun, and I've burned my fingers so many times, I don't think there's really any feeling left in them. I'm surprised I still have a fingerprint. So, just being honest, people, just being honest. Oh, look, Angela's here. She was in my space and I don't have a face mask on. Okay, so, and some kind of a plate or something to be a paint palette. I usually use a styrofoam plate. Couldn't find one over in this building. So, I work in an office. You're going to see people coming in and out all the time and hear things going on. It's an office. So, oh my gosh. And people are behind making faces at me. So, I love an audience. All right. I'm going to move the camera down so you can see the workspace. And the first thing we're going to do is dye. No, we're not going to dye. We're going to dye some coffee filters. I think that will work about right. My phone's having a little bit of a tantrum over me shifting it like that. Okay, so the first thing you're going to do is figure out a color. Ooh, you guys are... I have to adjust a little bit. You're a little far. There we go. Otherwise, I was going to have to lean all the way in for you to see. Okay, so we're going to create a wash, basically a paint wash. And I tell you what, I really love this turquoise, but it's so very bright. That I added some gray in with it. You can make whatever color you want. And you know what? I'm going to throw just a little bit of this turquoise in it to give it a little more aged look. And you're just using a teeny tiny bit of paint. So if you get it mixed up and you don't like it, wipe it off and try again. It's very forgiving. So it's kind of a grayish green color. Ooh, it's about the color of that lamb's ear. Maybe that's why I like it so much. So then what I'm going to do, I've got some water here. And yes, it's dirty water, but this is kind of a dirty color. And I'm just going to pour some water in my plate. And you can use a dish with this if you'd like. I'm going to add just a little more turquoise in here. If you want to use a bowl, a little styrofoam bowl, that works out really nicely. And you don't do these one at a time. That's going to take too much time. I'm going to add just a little more water. So then I'm going to take a stack, counting carefully, not because Jim does not do things carefully. I'm just going to grab some coffee filters. I don't know. There might be 7 or 8 in there. And I'm going to make a little teepee with them. I just curled it into a little bit of a cone. And here's the hard part. I'm just going to stick it down in there. And because it's a coffee filter, it's going to suck the colors right up in. And if it's not taking it up high, clear to the top, then just put a little water on it. Help it out a little bit. And that's how you dye your coffee filters. And then I can't really show you this because I don't really have space. The inside isn't totally covered. Just do this. There's no great science to this. And if you, like me, love coffee and want to do a wreath in just coffee stained filters, it is so cool. Now, you take your coffee filter and you lay it out on a flat surface, which I do not have here. So I'm just going to stick it in this bag for now. And see how there's little splotches there? That adds, to me, I think it adds so much interest to have a little extra color on there. So you would let that dry several hours. You could separate it and cut down the drying time, or you can separate it, put it on a cookie sheet, put it in a 300 oven for about 5 minutes. They're dry. That's the impatient artist way of doing it right there. All right, now since I've got the paint here, I got these acorns at Michael's, and I don't have any of you ever seen an acorn that bright? On top of that, my finished colors, like that just clashes. It just doesn't go. So, I mean, this isn't going to be something that you're going to keep for the rest of your life. So we're just going to slap a little paint on these acorns just to cover up that bright, bright orange. Now, if you were doing a dark brown or burlap colored flowers, these could add a lot of interest and color. But there's one that I've painted down. So I just put some browns on that one. This one I did some brick red with it. So it just makes it so that it'll look better with my wreath. And that's all I really care about. How does it look with mine? You do whatever you're going to do. Because I'm just giving you the ideas. You guys got to take it and do what you want. I'm going to see what this is going to look like. I'm going to squeeze out my little foam brush here. I'm going to see what this looks like with this gray turquoise wash on it. I work in an office. I really do. I love it here. Well, there's not enough paint in that for it to cover well. But whatever color paint you would like to do it, take a sponge or a sponge brush and just tap it. Let me get some white and I'll show you what I'm talking about. Squeeze the extra water out of that. Dry off that acorn that I tried to put a wash on. All right, so I'm just tapping it. And I'm going to kind of tap right up into that seam. Now, you can do this to anything. You know, if you wanted to do a farmhouse, you could take some chalk paint and cover these with the chalk paint, and that would look so cute. So there it is, white. Let me just get a leaf off here. Where's my handy dandy kitty scissors? Here they are. And these little Fisker brand scissors, they are tough stuff. I used to get these for my kids way back in the day when I was homeschooling, because they lasted forever. So here I've got this leaf. Let's just see what happens. Not that I've not planned this or anything. Oh my gosh, I love this. I love this. You guys that know me know that I never go as planned. Look how cool that fall leaf looks now, just by putting some of that turquoise wash on it. And you could do that with any color so that it goes nicely with your flower colors. Look how cool that looks. So if you can't find the lamb's ear like I got, you can take one of these fall picks like this. You can turn the pumpkin whatever color you want it to be. You can recolor the leaves, take them apart, use them separately. Oh, it's going to be so cute. Okay. I'm just going to say this video could last a long time. So you guys, if you have other things to do, come back to me later. Okay, so once your coffee filter flowers are dry, you end up with a stack of coffee filters. Look at these. I mean, really. And so the bottom of the stack is darker than the top of the stack. So when I do a flower, it's going to be all different colors. And this one, I stained with coffee first, and then I put a sage green with it. I think that will be real cool. Oh, this. Look at this plum color. Isn't that yummy? Love it. And then here's a basic teal. So, let me get this paint out of the way, get the water out of the way, because Lord knows I'm going to spill that if it's left there. All right. Normally, I would say don't put your hot glue gun in something plastic, but this is a really cool melt glue gun, and so I still am going to say don't do that. That's just worrying me. So I'm going to take my plate here, wipe the paint off of it, and use that for a holder for my glue gun. I'm spoiled at my house. I have a really nice glue gun that has its own stand. It's a fabulous glue gun, and it's a hot melt, and it'll burn the fire out of your hands in a second. Okay. I'm so excited about this. If I had my way, I would sit and do crafting with you guys all day long, all the time. So, here we go. Now, I have a couple of different ways to do flowers that I'm going to show you. The first thing we're going to do is I'm going to take 3 coffee filters, fold them in half, and it doesn't have to be perfection because these flowers are all loosey-goosey, and so it doesn't really matter. Now it's your choice. You can either fold it in half again so that you've got a quarter, and then again so that you've got eighths. And then you can do a little, you'll end up with petals that are a little smaller, or let's see if I've got, you can do it in thirds. So instead, you fold it in half once, and then you do thirds. And then you end up with petals that are a little bigger. So these are kind of like peony petals, where this is a little more mummy looking. Mummish. I miss my mummy. Okay, so I love this one. I want this to be a big loose flower, so I'm just going to do it in thirds. I forgot a step. I'm going to do a different color because I want to save this for a big flower. I'm going to go with just some of my coffee stained. 3, fold it in half, and fold it in half, and fold it in half. And then I'm just going to cut a small circle out of this. So I'm cutting the tip off, but in a circle. So I have a piece that looks like this, and a piece that looks like this. Now I'm just going to nip the very tip of that off. Let me see how close I can get. Boink! And then I've got this little, oh, that kind of looks like candy corn, doesn't it? I have a candy corn session. Then I'm just going to snip the edges and go in maybe a ½ inch, so you end up with a fringe. So let me do those real quick. All right. So this is going to be the center of the flower. Like this one. See that fringy stuff right there? All right. So then you unfurl it. And this is where the glue gun starts coming in. I'm just going to do this on these pipe cleaners. Chenille wire, I believe, is the political correct way to do it, but I'm old, so we call them pipe cleaners. Now I'm going to take this pipe cleaner and stick it up in there. And then I'm going to move these acorns out of the way because they're in the way. Then I'm just going to put some hot glue on this wire and on both sides. And this is where, if you have tender fingers, you want to have those protectors on. You just kind of fold it up and together. There's no big rhyme or reason. And yes, I do have my fingers in hot glue right now. But it's not too bad. Okay, so there's the center of your flower. Now's where these come in. So first I'm going to cut the petals. If you feel like you need a pattern, I'm sure there's patterns somewhere online for this. But these are just flower petals. So I'm going to come in about 1 inch up and just kind of cut a wavy line. So there's one side of a flower petal. And then I'm going to come in and then I'm going to come back out. And do you notice, to do this, I'm using these little kitty scissors, and they're cutting through so many layers of coffee filter. So, and then I'm going to kind of do a little bit of a wave here, because you know peony petals kind of are almost heart-shaped. And then I'm going to come back down and do another wave. So it almost looks like a heart, a really wavy heart that, yeah. But, oh wait, then you're going to do again where you just take the very center off so that you can fit it over the pipe cleaner. Just the tiniest bit. There you go. This is kind of like doing snowflakes, only you end up with something way cool. So that's what you end up with. Now, I'm going to sit it down here. You know what? While we're just making flowers, I'm going to move the wreath out of the way because it just is getting in my way. Okay. All right, to the trash. The hardest part in this project is keeping everything clean. And if you think that you're going to make this and have it done in 15-20 minutes, you're crazy, because this is a time consuming, but it's relaxing. Like you could stream a movie while you're, you know, put a Hallmark movie on and just enjoy the process of doing this. So now I'm just going to do a quick bead around my paper, and I don't want to line these up. And then, you know, I think I want the center to be just a little smaller than the outside. So I'm going to trim this center part down a little bit so it's smaller. Oh, my friend Billy is here.
Just coming back to check.
I'm still working.
Tell me when you're, well, I'll try and listen for when you're putting
one together?
Yeah.
In about 30 seconds.
Okay.
So this one's a little smaller, and so that's gonna make it a little more botanically correct. So I'm just putting a little bit of glue in there just to kind of hold it together. I don't want it to match up at all. So if you look, I've got, these are in different angles, and then this one's at another section. So then you take your little pom-pom, put it through the, and then we're going to put a little glue on there. But look at that. Like, it's so fast and easy. It's like I just become a little kid again when I'm doing this.
That's very cool.
It's so fast. And then I'm just putting a little bit in here to hold it into place. And, you know, because this is going on a wreath, I don't even care about this. But if you wanted to do a bouquet of these to go in a vase, you could use floral wire, and then when you get to this point, wrap the whole thing with floral tape, and it would look very cool in a vase. Or you could do this using sticks. That would look awesome too. I've done it both ways. So there you go. You've got a flower. And this flower probably cost a penny. So this whole thing, you know, I'm on this kick. Crafts on the cheap don't have to look cheap. And it's all in the details. Everything is about details. In crafting world, when you go DIY, what you're doing is you're trading your time for your money. So if you're willing to spend time to make something like this, you can save a whole lot of money. Or you can go on Etsy and pay somebody else an astronomical amount of money, because people go crazy on Etsy. It's like, oh yeah, you know, sure, I know that only costs the person $5 to make, but I'm going to pay $120 for it. That's the voice of a crafter there. But it's so easy. But if you add the details in, it makes a difference. Now, speaking of details, I'm going to throw a detail in here, because I think that little pom-pom there looks a little boring. So I'm going to open up this paint. There's a reason my hands always look like this. I'm just going to put a little bit of this paint on my fingertip, maybe. Oh, yeah. And on the table. And I'm just going to tap the top of that. And it just adds another dimension. And if you wanted to take some wet paint and just kind of tap the very edges of this, it would soak in and diffuse and look just gorgeous. So just pay attention to the details. Look at flowers and see the small things that can make this look more realistic. All right, so that's how you make a flower. Now I'm going to show you a different way to make a flower. My paper towel fell off. Let me clean up my mess here. This one is a little different. And they look like this. Now, I'm just going to be honest with you. The way I'm doing it, it looks ugly from the backside. But if this is crowded into some other flowers, no one's going to see that masking tape there. And speaking of masking tape, oh, here it is. So you're going to take some masking tape, put it on your table face up. And I'm just curling the ends down a little bit. Now I'm going to take, oh, I've already got one done. I'm going to take this, somehow my phone sunk again. There. Oh, I was holding my arms clear up. This is left over from when we made the little pom-pom for the center. So I'm going to fold it back up. And I'm just going to scallop the edges a little bit. Scalloping. So you end up with that. I'm not happy with that. I'm just going to cut down in, so when I start ruffling this, it'll ruffle better, because we all like a good ruffle. All right. That's better. Now I'm going to open it up, but I don't want a circle. So there we go. All right, now here's the easy part. You take it onto your tape and you just kind of create a ruffle. And if it overlaps, cool, even better. All right, I did not make my tape long enough. And that's all right. We'll just make it a little longer. There we go. All right. Somehow there ended up paint on my tape. I'm not real sure how that happened. All right. So you end up with this little ruffle like that. And then people, all you have to do is kind of roll it up. And I roll it kind of up while I'm going up. And whatever you have to do to this masking tape to get the flower to do what you want it to do, my gosh, it's so easy and it's so much fun. So I'm coming up a little higher every time I go around, so that the flowers are a little wider, or the petals are a little wider out. Wider out? You know what I mean. And you know what I just realized? I didn't give the flower a stem. No big deal, because look, I've got this tape here. We'll just stick that in there and wrap it around, and now we have a stem. Oh my gosh, is that not easy? I have struggled with doing little flowers like this for so long, and I would love to give credit to the blogger that posted a picture on how to do that. It has changed my life. So you can use whatever flowers you want for that. We've got these. Here's another one that I did using the masking tape that's a little bigger. It's a hot mess from underneath, but we're going to wire and glue it to the form so nobody's gonna know the difference. All right, so now let me clean up some of this. You know what, I'm gonna make one more flower just because I want to do this purple flower so bad. Here's a pro tip. You're going to want to put the darker colors on the facing upward because no one's really going to see the underneath side as much. And I think I want the dark one to be on the inside for this one. And oh my gosh, look how that turned out. I can't wait. Oh wait, here. Look how it looks on the flower. Isn't that sweet? Ah, I'm in love with it. I know, you guys are all rolling your eyes. Jen's at it again. I don't have enough of the purple, so I'm taking one of these that are more on the pink side. I'm gonna sandwich it in between the purples and no one will ever know. All right, so I've got an extra one of the little pom-poms. And we're ready to roll. If I can get it separated. Now I usually do two of these little guys in the center, but I only have one, so I'm going to do one. Put this through, throw a little glue on it, pinch it together. And pinch it enough so that the you're not going to be able to see the crafty wire on the inside. Hi, Carrie. How are ya? I'm glad you're here. You're going to go crazy over this. This is so easy and so cheap, and it looks so gorgeous. So I just put another dot of glue on that. Yeah. I got to bring you guys down a little bit. I think that's the, oh, there we go. I think that's going to help me out a little bit. About the time I'm done with this, I'll have the camera just about right. Aw, the Community Arts Center needs flowers. We'll be doing it. Okay, so Carrie, what we used to stain was craft paint. She asked what we used to stain the flowers with. Craft paint. And you just water it down. I mixed it in this plate till I got the color I wanted. Whatever colors you want to use, that's, you know, that's the joy of these little cheap craft paints. And then, where did I put my coffee filters? There they are. Sorry for those of you that are, let me catch Carrie up. She's a quick learner. So you take a stack of 7 or 8 coffee filters, fold them in half, and then make a teepee, and then add water to your paint, create a wash, and then just stick your coffee filters down in that wash, and they suck the paint right up into them. Let them sit for a little while, lay them out flat. If you're impatient, as I know you are, throw them in a 300 oven for about 5 minutes or so after you separate them on a cookie sheet, and they're dry and ready to roll. All right, now, you can go back and watch the first video. These alarms going off. The joy of ADHD is you have alarms for everything. All right, so to make the petals of the flower again, We're going to fold it in half. And I'm going to do a medium-sized petal flower, so I'm going to fold it in half again. If you wanted big petals, you would go thirds. Then I'm going to fold it in half again. And this one, I'm going to make it look a little bit more like a spider mum or a sunflower. So I'm going to create 2 spiky petals on this. And so I'm cutting it down the middle first just to give me the separation. And then I'm going to come over so I end up with that. And then I'm going to cut into that big V, so I end up with this. Oh, it looks like every tulip that every second grader has ever drawn. You know, this looks like lilies. Look at that. I meant to do a sunflower, but this looks like a lily. Oh, people. Okay, so now I'm gonna take, I forgot to put the little slit in here. Just a little slit there for your coffee filter to go, or this is not a coffee filter, your pipe cleaner to go through. All right, now put level 1 down. Put a circle of glue on there. And throw your next layer down. You know, this also kind of looks like poinsettias. Like if you did that center pom-pom a bright yellow and all of these outside petals bright red or whatever color you wanted your poinsettias to be, this could be such a gorgeous Christmas wreath. All right. Because look at that. Oh my gosh. And if you don't want the petals to come up that high above your pom-pom, all you do is lower it down a little bit onto your pipe cleaner, and then it looks more like that. All right, so once you get it placed where you want it to be, you put some, look at that, Billy, doesn't that look like a poinsettia?
Yeah, it does.
I'm gonna have to do some of these for Christmas.
There you go.
Then I'm just putting hot glue on the pipe cleaner and pinch it up. Being careful with your fingers. If you need to wear protection, wear protection. Because, you know, it's no fun to have burnt fingertips. Those of us that craft a lot know what that's like. All right. I'm going to have to play with that one a little bit. But once we get it onto the ring, like, you can hot glue them directly into place where you want them to be. I'm going to cut that off. There's another flower. All right, let me move my pane out of the way because I'm going to bring the wreath up. Move my flower stuff out of the way. And you can make as many or as few as you want of the flowers. If you were using a grapevine wreath instead of a wire wreath, you know, you could just put 3 or 4 flowers on it and some seasonal whatever with it and make something really beautiful. All right. So the joy of these wire wreath holder thingies, forms, wreath forms, that's what they are, is it's so easy to put things on. So all I did was I took that pipe cleaner and just ran it around a couple of times to hold it in tight. And then you can move the flower wherever you want it to be. And if it doesn't want to stay in place, just take your glue gun and, oh yeah, I guess you can't see when I'm facing me. Just slop some glue on there, let it set, pull the strings off. There you go. So this, like, this isn't going to take very long at all. where to put this one. I'm gonna do this one so it kind of hangs down a little bit. So I'm wrapping my ugly, look at that, that's pitiful. I'm just gonna wrap it around. And you know, I've got that lamb's ear. If any of that shows, I can cover it up with an acorn or whatever. Oh, look how pretty that turned out. And I don't know if you can see it, but there's little splotches in the back where the paint was speckly, and I was afraid it wasn't going to look good, but I just think it looks more natural that way. All right, so I'm going to throw another one in here. So once you get the flowers done, actually putting together the wreath is not going to take very long at all, but it is going to take a lot of flowers, unless you're just doing a partial wreath. So this is where you get to personalize it. I'm totally in love with this. And you can spread them out or fluff them up, however you want to do it. Look at that. I love how that one turned out. I can't really show you how I'm doing this, but I'm just wrapping the pipe cleaner around a couple of times. From the back, it looks hideous. No one's going to see the back. If you're concerned that the wire is going to show through, you can take some of that like 6-inch burlap ribbon and cover this with it and just glue it and wire it into place, and then put your flowers on. And that way what people will see in any negative space would be the burlap, which would look pretty awesome too. All right, I just have a couple more flowers that I've made in advance, and I don't want to bore you guys with, you know, making 20 more flowers the same way of all the other ones that I've done, because the purpose of this is not for Jen to finish her wreath online. The purpose is to teach you how to do it. And again, whatever colors you love, use it. I cannot wait to do this one. I think I want to attempt Stargazer Lily, but I also want to do some and make it look like poinsettias for Christmas. Let me get that in. Okay, this one, there we go. It's just coffee filters, so even if you mess up one of your flowers, you've messed up 3 cents worth of materials, if that much, and a little bit of your time. So feel free to just kind of jam it and shove it, because I think they look better once they're kind of had a little ruffling. Oh my gosh. Let's see. I'm going to do this for just a second, because I think, look how awesome that looks. This is coffee filters, people. Oh my gosh, I can't wait to see what some of you guys do with this, because I know some of you out there are super creative. Okay, so now I want to put in some of my lamb's ear. And of course, I don't want to just slap this whole thing on there. Now I got to bring you back down again. So I'm going to take this where there's a couple of leaves together and just clip those off. So I have a little bit. I love growing lamb's ear. Oh my goodness. It's so soft. I just want to go out to the garden and pet it for a little while. I think the rest of these are mostly single leaves. And these I got from Walmart. They might have been $2 and you get a 2-pack of lamb's ears. So they're pretty inexpensive too. So you just have to kind of look at where you want them to be. Now I'm gonna floral wire them up a little bit just so I can. Oh, I hate getting floral wire started. Okay, so I can be a little more goosey about where I put it, loosey-goosey. So all I'm doing is taking a little loop of a really fine floral wire over that intersection there, and I'm just going to twist it a couple times to lock it into place. And then I can separate my leaves or my flowers and put this in place. And I'm going to give it room to move because I'm going to kind of hot glue it to some flowers. You know, I hate watching videos where the person like is constantly taking stuff off screen, but that's what I'm doing. I'm sorry. I'll try to get it set. All right, that should help. All right, there. So now I've got these little lamb's ears hanging up here. Now, if you want to have it come out a little more, you can just take the whole stick. That's one I cut up. You can take the whole stick, bend it so that it runs the arc of your wreath, and just have it come out here. These are wired so you can make them do what you want to do. So you can have it kind of come out beyond. Let's do it this way. There you go. So that it comes kind of over the top of your flowers. All right, now we got these little acorns that I grayed down a little bit. I'm going to grab one that is mostly dry. So you can do it a couple of ways. You can just kind of stick it onto one of these flowers if you want, glue it on, which I think I'm going to try that right here. So I'm just going to hit it with a little glue and stick it into the flower. So it just kind of looks like it fell out of a tree. We have an oak tree in our yard, and trust me when I say acorns don't just fall out of the tree. They pelt you. You can hear them hitting the roof all night long. Yeah. Anyway, so you can do it that way. You can also take some of your floral wire and run it right on the edge. It's that little ledge in between the acorn and the cap. And then I'm just twisting it. Now I'm not going to trust that, so I'm just going to hit it with a little tack of hot glue. Very little tack. Let me get a new glue stick, I guess. Now, you hit it with a little tack of glue. There you go. Don't you love that little hot glue swirly that you have to do to get the spider webs off? All right, so then you have an acorn on the wire. So you can put that thing wherever you want it to be. I'm going to lay it aside right now. Oh, hey, there's another flower. We'll put that on. All right. I'm going to glue that one into place because it's going to want to move. All right. So we've got acorns in place, ribbons. Now, I didn't get wired ribbons because I knew these flowers were going to be loose and flowy. So I got just regular old ribbon that's taped shut still. This color, well, both of these colors, I am so in love with this coral and sage right now. I just can hardly stand it. Look at these two together. And I love satin with grosgrain. Just the shiny and the matte together makes me happy. So I don't know that I want a big like floral bow. I think I'm just gonna do, I don't even know what to call them. I'm gonna call it poofy bow. So I'm gonna cut a couple lengths, measuring carefully because that's what I do not do. I think I'm going to do about 6 of these. And in putting these together, you can either use floral wire. I'm going to do these just a little bit longer. Or you can use a pipe cleaner. This is a quick and easy bow that you don't have to know how to do the twist and wrap like I call them florist bows. So now I'm going to stack these, and I'm just trying to decide how I want to do it. Okay. I'm gonna real quick, I think I'm gonna, I don't know what you call it, give them tails. These scissors aren't the best for cutting ribbon after cutting wire and plastic and paper and everything else. So it's taken me a little bit longer. Okay, I can do that later. So you stack them up. Trying to get them even here. And I'm going to get some floral wire. But for this, this is a really fine wire, so I'm going to double it up. And I'm just going to twist it a little bit so that I don't have to worry about it coming apart. So I end up almost with a braided looking wire. All right, now I'm just going to scrunch this up so they're all together, and then I'm going to come up just a little bit. I promise I've done this before. It just doesn't look like it right now. So then you're going to pull it in just as tight as you can, and then twist it and twist it and twist it so that this is really tight. You really want that to be tight. Then you just separate it out. And you can't be mamby-pamby with these bows. You have to just kind of pull them and twist them as you're bringing them out. and then it leaves the tails. Then you can, oh, there's still tape on this tail. Let's cut that off. Ooh. There we go. Then when you get it attached to where you're putting it, you can arrange the tails however you want them. Oh, here we go. Now I'm going to bring this wire back up over my ribbon again and back down just to hold it a little more firmly in place. And then I'm going to wrap it around the wire a couple of times. Now, you can do whatever kind of bow you want to do on this, or if you're not a bow person, don't put a bow on it. Do it however you would like. I think I'm fighting the grosgrain ribbon is what's going on. Because it does not want to go where I'm wanting it to go. Anyway, let's see. And I'm going, how can I fix this? How can Jen fix this? I think what I'm going to do is just put flowers right over the top and coming right in here. Let's see, I glued that one down. I glued that one down. Oh, here we go. We'll bring this one over. So you know when you're doing Facebook Live, stuff goes wrong. Every time. Okay, so that kind of gives you the idea. Let's see. I'm sorting through all of my stacks of flowers here. There you go. That gives you an idea, even though it's not quite done. So you can see, it's just a little bit different kind of bow. And you can have tails coming down. So I'm going to leave this running for a little bit. I'm going to work on putting a few more details in. But I'm going to do it without talking so much so that I can concentrate on making something that's pretty instead of chatting. So hang out with me while I'm working, and if you have any questions, let me know. Oh, hi Mandy, I didn't see you came in. Oh, I know these muted colors. Mandy says she loves the muted colors. I am all about these muted colors. Totally loving them. There we go. Those are going to look cool on it. Might separate them out a little bit. Oh, check out those berries. And I hope you all knew that floral picks are meant to be separated out. They just need to be. I'm going to try to cut this apart a little bit with my handy dandy wire cutter scissors. They don't want to cut this. Oh, yes they do. So now I have a couple of smaller ones that I can tuck in. But I'm going to take my paintbrush and just dab a little of my cream colored paint. Oh, here it is. Onto that, because that's it's a little heavy for the colors that I've got going here. So I'm going to basically dry brush them a little. Did I say I was going to work quietly and not talk? Shame on you for believing me. Did you know that this is National Art Education Week? There you have it. So, if you're local, why don't you celebrate National Art Education Week by signing up for a class here at the Community Arts Center? Ha-ha! Always got to get my plugs in. You know, the Community Arts Center here, we shut down, of course, but kept doing virtual classes, storybook reading. We did so many things for free for the community during the shutdown. And I loved doing all those things. But now we have in-person classes going, and it's super exciting to have people coming in for classes. Yes, they have to wear masks in the building, but everybody's pretty good-spirited about it. And it just is fabulous to have people in our building again, taking art classes, experiencing life, and doing it in a safe way. So sign up for some classes. We have some Zoom classes also, if that's more your thing. If you're still needing to stay home for health reasons or whatever reason, we'd love to have you join us for some of our virtual classes. All right, so I'm going to do some more flowers real quick. Let's see, I need a center. These green centers will look nice. And I'm going to give an early plug. I've already scheduled myself for a Gnome Arty Party in December, so be watching for that here in a month or so when we publish those times, because I love doing arty parties. And for those of you that don't know, we have arty parties here. They're only $15, and it's a make and take evening. There's usually food involved and whatever else people want to bring, and it's just a lot of fun. So be watching for that. Oh, our Bob Ross instructor, Bob Ross style, Al Just, he's got a class coming up. It's this cool fall scene with a pickup truck. It's going to be really nice, and he's a fun guy, and he's an excellent teacher. We love doing stuff with Al. It's a good thing. And all right, so I've got my little pom-pom. Gonna fold this. I'm folding it the wrong way. Fold it, fold it, fold it. I'm doing this one in thirds. Do a little nip there on the end. I may have to sweep the floor here in this office when I'm done. I usually have to sweep the floor when I'm done doing anything. Somebody might be a little messy. All right. Now I'm going to separate them all out. Maybe. There we go. Ooh, this one had 4 coffee filters. I'm going to leave it in. That'll be cool. Just put some glue in to kind of keep it together. Here we go. Now I've got, this is going to be awesome. Oh, look at that one. Oh my gosh. I love that minty green interior. It's so cool. All right. So I just looked at the clock. I'm going to have to wrap this up before too long so I can get all my stuff together for staff meeting that starts at 1. But I want to put some of these berries in with it real quick. So I'm just going to hot glue this right to the wire. And when that sets up, I can flip the wire form over and put some extra glue on it. And I've got some more berries up here. Just holding it in place with the glue. This is not going to be something that's going to survive year after year after year. If this makes it a couple years, great. So let's see. Let me turn this a little bit so you can see. So I've got these little berries right here. I'm going to throw some lamb's ear on top of them because I like to layer. That was a little hot, that glue. And then I'm going to put some more lamb's ear and tuck it under this flower. Oh, I don't know if you can see. You can see that masking tape right there. So this is how we're going to cover that up. We're just going to glue lamb's ear right onto it. No more masking tape. Yay! Put this bad boy up here. I think it's too wide open. I'm going to put some extra glue inside and pinch some of it closed a little bit. And I'm shoving it down when I'm pinching it closed. So these inner petals will be a little shorter. I should have shortened them, but I didn't. Oh, yeah, I just needed a good scrunching. Now look at that flower. Just play with it till you get it. Because, you know, like I said, it's only like 3 cents a flower. So the biggest cost in this is probably going to be your ribbon and your form. Now, keep an eye out because when Dollar Tree starts putting out the Christmas stuff, seriously putting out the Christmas stuff, you can get a 12-inch form there for $1. And that would make a nice size wreath. Oh dear, I've glued myself to my tablecloth. But guys, look how that's turning out. I'm so happy with it. I can't wait to finish this. And I don't know, somebody's office, I'm sure, will get to have a pretty wreath with it. But how awesome is that and how easy? So I hope I helped you figure out a new craft to try out. And you can make these any color you want. You can add anything in that you want. Or just do straight flowers. I've even seen people just take the coffee dyed coffee filters and scrunch them like that, glue them on, and do a whole wreath with these just tightly packed. And it looked really cool. So explore. I just give you guys the ideas. You got to take it and run with it. So this is Jen at the Community Arts Center. Thanks for hanging out with me this morning. And I have loved doing this project with you. I love doing this project. And I look forward to doing it again sometime. Love you guys. Have a great day. Bye.